Alright, so I'm out here trying to put this cage in the S10. I'm trying to figure it out. I've never put in a cage before, and I got the S&W 14-point cage. It's the 10-point cage with a 14-point upgrade. So far, I've got the main hoop tacked in. This is very hard to do by yourself, let me tell you. Very hard to do by yourself. So things aren't exactly straight down here, but as long as they are up here, then it's okay. The this bar got to me. I don't know if it was shipping or somebody being in a hurry bending it, but it's twisted about 3/4 of an inch. So that kind of got me just making shit work. You know what I mean? So I've got the holes cut up front. I've got to get these off, because when I first started putting them on there, I figured that maybe they go this way so you have more area to work with. But then I found out, nope, they go the skinny way up, so you have no area to work with except for side to side. So I got all the holes cut, and so now I'm working on the halo, and I got the tube notcher from Harbor Freight. So I just did a test cut. So this is an old drill press that I got off of somebody a while back, and it is old as dirt. I'm surprised it works. I'm just waiting for it to go out, and then I have to go buy another one. But they're cheap. They're only like 100, 120 bucks at Harbor Freight for a brand new one exactly like this. This guy right here is the tube notcher from Harbor Freight. Doesn't come with the hole saw bits. I just went up to Lowe's and grabbed me a couple of them, because I've got hole saws, but I didn't have any 1 3/4, so I went and grabbed a couple. I just did a practice cut right there. Well, actually I did a practice cut and then I did the real cut, and man, it worked perfect. I matched it up to a piece of pipe I have laying over on my trailer, and it goes right on it. Lovely. So I'm about to make my next cut on the halo bar. I'm cutting this one back 2 inches because it's a little long, and I'm tall, so I've got to have my main hoop up as high as I can get it. So it is all the way up and almost touching the roof. It's about a 1/4 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch from touching over here. So it's as high as I can get it. So the the halo bar comes all the way about to the windshield, and this part right here pushes it way down. So I'm cutting it back about 2 inches, 1 to get it away from the windshield, and 2 so it'll come up just a little bit. It's okay if it comes down some. It does in my Nova. So, but I didn't want it coming down that far and touching the windshield. So I cut 2 inches off of it. I can cut more if I need to. But, so this thing works great for such a cheap item, you know. I'm really impressed with it. I bolted it with 1 bolt to this. I just grabbed a bolt and matched up the slots, and there we go. And then made all this just straight, because I don't need any angle cuts right now. This is just straight up cut. So it takes a while, especially with this old piece of shit, but I guess I'll set us up and give it a whirl. Let me start the generator. I don't have power out here, so I'm running off my 9,000 watt generator. Alright, so you see how long that took. And the first cut that I did, I probably got that thing, got the hole saw stuck probably 6-7 times. So you just barely apply pressure. The very end of it, I guess the very beginning and the end, it's making the most contact. So gets it stuck the easiest. But anyways, I made sure it was level so I didn't have a crooked cut. And I mean, that's it. Look at that thing. Let me get it out of there and we'll go check it on a piece of pipe if I can hold everything. And you gotta grind it, clean it up, but I mean, there's my cuts. I don't know if you can see them or not. Alright, let's see if we can go over here and look at that, huh? That's pretty damn good. That's on a curve though, so here, let me hold on. This is difficult. Damn it. Stay. Alright. So look at that. Huh? Doesn't get a whole lot better than that for a $20. I think I paid $20 for that tube notcher. That is pretty damn good. And once I clean it out and put a bevel on it for welding, it's perfect. So now this is ready to for me to try and put in. Well, I gotta grind it up, clean it up first, and then I'll try to fit it in there. So since I don't have a shop, well, I mean I do, but the Nova's in there and there's not a whole lot of space, so, and there's not a whole lot of places on my property where I can level out the truck, so I put it on my trailer so I could level the ground that it's on, and then I leveled it on jack stands. Used jacks to hold all this up. So I use these pieces of 6x6 with the outriggers on top of it, and then position everything where it's the same on both sides, as far up and as about as far back as I could get it. Because you got your body mount right back there. On this side, I'm further up than that side because this thing's twisted. It's twisted out about 3/4 of an inch, so that kind of messed me up a little bit. But so I'm 6'2", and being in a small S10, I got to put the bar up as far as I can. So my shoulder harness, I think it can be up to 4 inches below your shoulders, so it's going to actually be up here. On most people, it's right here on the bend. Mine's going to be up a little higher. And I'm going to put my seats in as low as I possibly can. So it might be an inch above that. So I guess I'll just, because I'm doing all this by myself, so it's real difficult, and I definitely can't film it and do it. I mean, I could set the camera somewhere, but you know, I'm not in here all the time. I'd be carrying the camera around with me, and that's too much. I'm already dealing with a lot doing this by myself, so I'll just do updates and try to give as much information on it as I can. What my problem was before I even started was, where do I start? You know, how do I figure out where the outriggers are going to go? And I searched the internet, and there's nothing that helps with that. So what I did was, I know that it's going right in front of this body mount. I know that. I don't know how far or how far back it needs to go. So what I did was I just tried to put it about as far back as I could, but at the same time, this body mount comes out like this. So if you have this right up against it, you'd have to weld to it instead of the frame, and I wanted to weld it all the way around to the frame, so I decided to have it about an inch off of it so I could get my welder in there. And the other side is about an inch off, and for it to be the same, this one had to be a little further off. So, and it's crooked, but when I put it back up, I'll be cutting the tacks loose to drop it all down to weld it all. I'll straighten that up then. I gotta cut them off, put them on the right way. Those, the fronts, I mocked up the front strut bars, and it seemed like they worked out, and the bars were still too long with the outriggers all the way down at the bottom of the frame. Over here, the back for me needed to be all the way up to the top of the frame for me to get the height that I needed. So the back is really going to depend on how tall you are as to how high your outrigger is going to go. And I didn't cut any off of here, so I kept it the same length. So that's how you'll start out. It's going to depend on how tall you are as to how far you're going to want it to go. If I would say start with an inch away from the body mount, and then your height will dictate how high up the outrigger will go. So that's a good starting point. I had no idea where to start. Just put it on jack so you can raise it and lower it easily, because if you just stack stuff solid, then you got to take stuff out to lower it or raise it, put stuff in. So put it on jacks. I got a jack on each side, and you can raise it and lower it and level it out easy that way. I'll probably do the same for the front side. I don't know. I'm kind of just figuring this out as I go. Never done it before, so I mean, I've been in a few race cars with them. I've seen a lot of them, but never done it. So, all right. I'm gonna clean this thing up and try to get it fitted and tacked in place, hopefully, and then I'll get back with you. All right. I got the halo tacked up, and I made a mistake, but I'm not gonna take it back down and fix it because it ain't that bad. I'm not gonna be doing bracket racing with this. I'm not gonna be in NHRA, IHRA, any of that, so I'm not worried about having a perfect cage to get certed. It might be nice if I sell it to cert the cage, but, and I think it's either an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 of an inch gap is the most you can have, and I've got a 1/4 inch gap. But the thing is, where this halo bar attaches, it's right on the curve of the main hoop, so it makes your gap a little, it makes you need to twist your, I guess when you're notching the tube, you need to twist the pipe a few degrees the right way, and then it'll go on there perfect. But I didn't do that. The other day when I was putting in the main hoop, I thought, hey, I got to twist this, and then today when I did it, I didn't think it, so I didn't do it. But anyways, I mean, there's the gap that I have, if you can see that. So that's okay, I do believe. It would fit nice and tight if I had rotated it, degreed it just a little bit, but hey, oh well. This is my first cage, is not going to be perfect. So now this is how I've been doing it myself, using straps. I put the straps on there and then work the halo in up under them. Like I would put it into this one first, slide it underneath here, and then get up on top of this one. That is how I've found the easiest way to do it. If you try to come in this way, you have to have them so loose that when you got to really hold it and tighten them up, and it's a pain in the ass. So you can get them, you know, not tight, kind of loose, but not real loose to where it won't hold it. And just go inside, go up above this one, go under the main hoop, go all the way to the window, and then you can get it over the top of this one. So even if you have two people, just so you have your hands free to measure, to do whatever, it's still a good idea to do this. When I was trying to level this, I had a strap down here and a strap up here holding it, and then I had magnets. Like, I would have these magnets over here to keep it from falling back. So that's how I leveled it up by myself. Okay, so now that I've got the halo tacked in place, now I'm going to I'm going to cut these front outriggers off and then line them up, I guess, mock all this up, and then tack them in the correct way. So just wanted to do this halo update, and then once I have this correct and I start to do that, then I'll jump back on. Oh, and my tailgate is my workbench. It works, you know. It works, and it's whatever works, right? So if you have a shop with a lift, or even if you don't have a lift but you have a nice big shop, this is going to be easier on you, because for one, your floor is level. For two, you're inside, you're not outside getting bugs on you and ticks and shit, having to spray yourself down. And I sprayed the ground too. So I'm just really trying to show that it is not impossible to build these things by yourself, even outside. I've done everything in this truck out here. And I'll probably build the whole thing out here. I don't plan on taking it in the shop. I don't have a cement floor, so there ain't a whole lot I can do in there. I can't put the motor in, I can't put the transmission in down there, I can't roll the jacks or the hoist, so I'm gonna do everything out here. When I'm ready to put the engine that's going in it in, I'll take it over there on the driveway and do it there. But so I'm dealing with a little bit more, one being by myself, and two being outside. I got to cover it up, you know, when I'm done working on it. But so if you have help, you have a shop, man, it's no problem to build one of these things. And I've never, like, I've built a few hot rods, but I've never gone from the frame, you know, built the whole chassis, boxed in the frame, did the framework, and then built the cage. I've usually gotten a car and then had to rebuild the engine, transmission, rear end, suspension, all that. I've never just stripped a whole car down and started from scratch on it like I have this one. So if I can do it out here, any of you can do it with your friends in the shop, or out here if you ain't got a shop. Doesn't matter. You find a way to do it if you want to do it. All right, I'm going to get the front struts mocked up, or in the bars right. So